Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at one of the coolest toys ever. It is the Transformers Power of the Primes, Rodimus Unicronus, and here he is. And ever since I watched Theo Adams review this toy, I fell in love with it, and I still love it because it is amazing. I absolutely love this toy. I love the idea of uniting Rodimus, like a hot rod, being able to turn into Rodimus. I love the idea of that. And also the fact that that was basically going to happen with, like, Duke Fire being a Rodimus toy from the Brave series. You know, already I thought it was a cool idea. And then you dip him in black and make him absolutely, like, cool, and give him the whole, like, black convoy effect. Makes it even cooler and even more, like, fun. And here it is. And it looks completely cool. It looks, still just as dumb as the regular Rodimus, truck Winnebago weirdo thingy. It still looks just as dumb, but it looks kind of even cooler. This big flame blade sticker thing, whatever it is. I do love the silver border on the Decepticon symbol. Then the same detailing right there. That whole like goth kind of styling, whatever it is. But before we get too far in, I'm going to take out Hot Rod, or Nemesis Hot Rod, I think it's called, not Rodimus Unicronus. But yeah, I absolutely love this. Obviously, that looks a little weird, but it's all right. How else would you do that? But this mode looks incredible. But let's take a look at the base guy really quick. So we're gonna be done with this until we combine them. For now, we're gonna be done with the trailer. So we'll just take him out. And I don't know where the guns went. I did have the guns. He was fully complete, but I don't know where they went. But we'll just keep this off to the side. All that. And then this is how you have to have them. These exhaust pieces have to be forward, but you just simply bring them back for the hot rod mode. Like so. And there he is. And I really like it. I do really like the stylings of this. I really like the really sharp, harsh angles of this. Just looks really nice. Obviously, these, weirdo wheels. These are some of the best, clipped wheels, I guess you could call them. These are some of the best examples. They're really nice. They're really smooth. They're really, dense. They don't feel super hollow. I really do like these wheels, but they're not pinned, but I don't really care. But yeah, I love the super deep red for the windshield. That looks absolutely amazing. Obviously, these do look a little blocky. They're not really, super, defined, but I don't really care. It's not that big a deal. Do really like the nice gray that's on him. Just looks really, really nice. Just you can see how he's gonna work, but just turn him over. I really like this design. I love the look of it. With the trailer and without the trailer, he just looks incredible. This mold really, really works in these colors. It really works. I never noticed this until now, but the spoiler is angled up at a slight angle. It's not just completely flat and perpendicular to the ground. I mean parallel, not perpendicular. Parallel. It's actually tilted up a tiny bit, and I really like that. But yeah, that's enough talking about the vehicle mode. Let's start and put him into his robot mode. So this toy works really simply. A lot of the toys from the Prime Wars trilogy work really, are just very basic and simple. But this one's even more simple. You just take this and just, you could see how he's gonna work. This part is a little wacky. You tilt it down to unpeg it from the top, and then you pull it out because there's a little tab right there that it slots into, and then there's that tab right there that you have to pull it into. So I'll show you really quick. Pull it down, and then you pull it out. That's how I do it, at least. That may be wrong, or some people do it differently, but that's how I do it. And then let's come here, flip that up, pull out the foot, do the same thing here, like so. And now we're basically already done, but we need to raise the camera really quick. Just raise it up really quick. And now we'll take the front and slide this up, spin it around, close it up, and then we can spin this around and it will peg in. And here he is. And this is Nemesis Hot Rod. He doesn't have a super clever name like Rodimus Unicronus, but it's okay. We can just call him the same guy. And I really like it. Obviously he isn't very proportionate because these have to become the tops of the arms for Rodimus Unicronus. So of course the lower legs are a little short and sort of stumpy. But really, I love the idea of being able to have a Hot Rod and a Rodimus Prime in the same toy, and the arms they just peg in. So I just love the idea, and just the fact that he looks so cool. Like, love the stickers with the little chevrons of purple. Just that same design that was on the hood, and then his face. You can't really see his eyes. I think they are red, yeah, but you just can't really see them. But really do like it. Looks really cool, but of course we can bring in this and we can show off the main show. So we'll just put him off to the side and we'll mess with this for right now. So what we'll do is we will disconnect this whole top piece. Oops, dropped a piece of it. And now here we have this, and we'll just disconnect that, and now we have an arm. Same thing, fold this around, and now we have 2 arms. And then the rest of it is just all this. We don't have to do any more breaking apart. We just bring that down, untab this, and bring it down. And now we have to split that. And then this will fold up and tab in. And then I like to just close that up. I guess you could do whatever you want with it. Like if you want to splay it out like a cape or whatever. But I always just peg it back together. And then this little piece can turn back around. And then bring that down, split that, and then bring this down, bring out the heels. And one thing that I have found annoying is just these backwards knees. Every toy that I've encountered with those backwards knees, and obviously this is crucial for the transformation of this toy, they just end up getting loose and just makes the toy not stand very well. Every one that I've seen has always struggled with that. Every toy that uses those style of knees, but just flip down that crotch plate, and now we're done. And we will raise the camera up really quick because we will need to show off more height. And now we will work with him. We will basically just flip him over because we'll need the legs. So fold the arms over on themselves like so. Bring the legs down, not the arms. And then you'll basically like split him because there's that big hinge right there, and you'll basically like split him because this will become the front, and you have to put his head away like so. And now connect that, basically just retransform the front of the car like this, and then the arms will just hang out like that, and splay out the legs like so. And then this will have to come around and fold in on itself like that, fold up, and then, so I can't remember what spot. Yeah, this whole thing at the bottom of him will slide down and peg into that gray connector like so, and this will come down and peg in, and just push everything together, just making sure it all just closes together. And now we can spin the legs around, bring them up, and now before we get too far, we will put the feet away like so. Put the feet away like that. And now we have him right here. And already, all we need to do is take the arms and just peg them on like so. Take the arms, peg them on like so. And here is Rodimus Unicronus. Just raise the camera up just a tiny bit more. And there he is. And obviously, it's been a little while since I've done the transformation, so it's a little bit of figuring it back out. But it's really fun. It's really just involving, but it's also not too terribly complex. It's just a lot of fun. It does what it does very well and very interestingly, and it keeps you coming back wanting to just fiddle with it and play with it. And then you get left with this monolithic thing. Obviously, you get the amazing purples, you get the amazing grays, of course, the amazing black. Just the colors on this guy just look incredible and amazing. He just looks so cool, so like intimidating and like metal. You know, he looks like Theo Adams said it. You know, he has like the Motorhead mustache, like Lemmy Kilmister. You know, that just looks incredible. Absolutely love that. You know, just he looks so incredibly cool and awesome. You know, this is of the two versions of this mold, the Rodimus version and the Unicronus version. I'm going to take this one any day of the week because it just looks so much cooler, so much. It takes the like ideas and concepts of the merger of the evolution style combination, and just makes it even more cool with this deco. You know, just looks so cool, so menacing, so rad and awesome. And I'm so glad to have one in my collection. Like I said, ever since I saw Theo Adams review I always wanted one, and I finally got one here this last year, and I absolutely love it. It's just so cool, so amazing. And while I was owning this, while I was like figuring him out, I thought you could make a custom of Jay Decker with this, because Deckard slots into the main torso front, forms the main torso, the front of Deckard forms the chest plate. This could easily be customized into Jay Decker and, Hot Rod into a Deckard. I won't do that because I'm not going to paint over this guy and I'm not that talented, but someone who is talented, I bet sure could do that. But adding even more potential to this mold of all the different designs and decos you could do with this. But this is just so rad. I would really recommend you guys getting one because he just looks so cool, so intimidating. Really, the only thing that's a little annoying is the knees that I mentioned and the ankles because they tilt forward and back. And then since there's so much weight on top of him, he does kind of want to fall over sometimes. But that's more of a looseness thing. But other than those two little minor gripes, I'm not going to pick on the arms being exposed on the side and like the limited articulation because of the legs from the arms. I don't care about that. That's super fun, super ingenious. I would have never thought about that if I had to make Hot Rod form a Rodimus with the trailer. I would have never thought that, and I love the fact that the trailer actually does something. I hate the trailer not doing anything. Sort of like the Kingdom one. I don't own the Kingdom one, but like the Kingdom one is just so huge. The trailers are so huge and it does nothing. When this guy, the trailer does a lot of stuff. And I just think that's so fun and really cool. And I would really recommend this along with the regular Rodimus deco because I do really like the colors of it, but of course I prefer this. But no matter what, I love this toy. It looks amazing. And he's big. He's a big leader. Big toy, really big toy. So yeah, I really recommend this guy. He's a lot of fun. And yeah, so that's what I have to say. So till next time, see ya.